Well, hello everyone. Today I'd like to show you a new tool, but a new tool which is very closely linked to this thing, your bench. Yours is probably just like mine. It's covered in a couple of cutting mats, and as you can see, mine is probably seen better days. But yeah, that's the nature of these things. But what I want to talk to you about is a product which I came across a few weeks ago. One of my suppliers, Green Stuff World in this case, almost went straight past it when I was looking at the website because it is very innocuous. But I did pause. Well, what's that? Why would you want to use that kind of tool? And I must say that it's proven to be quite useful, and I just want to show you that because I think some of you guys might actually find that it maybe doesn't transform your model making, but it makes it more convenient. Absolutely, and also it protects the surface of your bench. So what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is this thing. They call it the hobby cutting block. As you can probably see, it literally just looks like a lump of plastic, and it kind of is. But it could be very useful for certain applications. Let me get out the packet so you can have a closer look at this. Let me put that there. So this is what it is. It's basically a block of material. In fact, let me reach for a ruler, and I just will measure it for you, just so you get a feel for how large this actually is. Right. So that's 8 centimeters by just under 10. So 8 by 10. So it's an 8 by 10 block of material. Not sure what it is, but it's very dense. In the box, of course, they give you a few options of what you could use it for. Let me put that down for a sec. They say it absorbs vibration, it's suitable for cutting, it's waterproof, it's great as a support, and also it's great for avoiding accidental drilling on your workbench. And I've done all of those things. Excuse me. It's one of those pieces of I guess one of those tools which you kind of don't really know you need until you've got it. I mean, I've hit this bench with hammers, with saws, with drills, and I know it's supposed to be self-healing, but you know as well as I do, eventually you start to damage this surface. And sometimes I do need to raise a part up off this surface so I can see it and so I can actually work on it. So an example, for instance, let me get my saw. So for instance, this space saw, which many of you already have, and normally I'd try and do it like that on the bench. But of course now I have this, I can raise it off my bench, and I can saw away with infinitely more accuracy because it's literally just off the bench. In fact, I didn't tell you how deep it was, did I? It is 2 centimeters. Right, so 8 by 10 by 2. So that extra 2 centimeters height, I've been finding really very useful because I get that accuracy. Likewise, if I was, let me get my trusty paint tester over. For instance, if I had a model piece and I needed to drill a hole into that, now normally it would sit on my bench. I'd drill the hole, and if I wasn't paying attention, it would go straight into my bench. Or usually I'm holding like that, I'm drilling away, and it goes straight to my finger. That's happened, I can't remember how many times. But with this thing, if I bring that over, where's my drill? If I get my drill, and for instance, if I was drilling that particular area there, if I was going to go all the way through that, to put some detail on, or for me, it's probably put some LEDs in. So that's gone all the way through. And of course, I haven't damaged my bench, haven't hit my fingers, and that surface hasn't been marked at all. It hasn't been damaged by this drill. Something else you might be using is one of these. I use one of these sometimes for bashing stuff. Again, this surface is perfect. I don't really mean bashing my bench. Here, this has got a little bit of give in it, which I found very useful. So when I'm doing very small parts, if I do need to do any sort of hammering, that's been absolutely fantastic for that. I think the applications for this could be very, very wide. It does say that it is waterproof, so you could mix up, I guess, any kind of epoxies on this as well. Um, it's an interesting, I guess, application of that. But I think for most of us, it's a support when you want to do some drilling, or you want to do some cutting, or again, if you want to remove vibration from your bench, because this is sort of a rubberized material. So you hit that, and I hit, so it absorbs a lot of the vibration. Um, so I think that's very, very useful. So it's reversible. It's got the Gristleff Worlds log on one side. I tend to use it like this because I just find that more convenient and accurate when I'm trying to do something very small. But again, even if I'm gluing bits together, that extra height I found is very useful because I use a magnifying lens. So if it's on the bench, I'm finding I'm having to go down too long. That extra 2 centimeters really helps. I found. Yeah, the applications seem to go on and on really. But as I said, when I was looking at the website, I thought, well, what's that black chunk of rubber? And what on earth would I use a black chunk of rubber for? And how useful would it be? Well, as it turns out, it's very useful indeed. I find myself reaching for this quite a lot, particularly if I'm doing scratch building. As I said, if I'm drilling stuff for LEDs, anything like that, or if I need to make a very precise cut with my ruler, and maybe say one of my pens, for instance, if I was if I was putting that there, I can just lean in and the accuracy's there because I'm not on the bench. That extra 2 inches height makes all the difference. I've been finding. Put that away so I don't stab myself. So that is the hobby cutting block from Green Stuff World. Again, I was amazed at how useful something as innocuous as this could actually be. But again, that's on the store now. Do check it out. I say it's one of those tools that it may be something that you wonder how you live without. It's so simple, but its applications are very widespread. I find. As usual, if you have any questions, any queries, do come back to me.